historic district, Western Union, the schooner right on the water. Throat's a little sore today. We had the onesie pub crawl yesterday in Key West. 400, 500 onesies, stumbling around town, fundraiser for a good cause. Hanging out again down here in Key West. Be at the Thompson Family Football Camp this weekend. We're heading to see my friend Paul Menta over at Key West First Legal Rum Distillery, Chef's Distilled. Paul is an absolute electric human being. We're gonna get into him in a little bit, but we're kind of located in my favorite spot in town. These boards right here, I grew up walking down with my parents, eating ice cream, going to these great bars and restaurants. And then we got to walk by the famous Schooner Wharf. I've never seen Kenny Chesney in here, but I know for many people, he likes to hang out in the back of the bar there. I want to talk about this place right here, this bunker, because this bunker right here, a lot of people don't realize that they've been walking past it for years in Key West. This is Jimmy Buffett's studio. Recorded some amazing songs here. Kenny Chesney's been here, Old Dominion's been here. People don't even realize some of the best, most famous music that Jimmy ever created, and so many great artists were made right here in Key West, Florida, just on the docks. Again, a bunker. You can see there's a little memorial here for Jimmy, which is really cool. All the stickers now. This was probably like half full, and then when Jimmy died, this all filled up. So really cool spot. What's up, Sammy? Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Conch Republic, one of my favorite places in the world. I think it's the coldest beer in the world. They got the best Rural Red peel and eat shrimp. Conch Republic Seafood, awesome, awesome spot to go from happy hour. I think it's buy one, get one free drinks. They give you all the poker chip. Your next round's on them, so a really cool spot. Paul is philanthropic, creative, amazing chef, traveler, entrepreneur, just the most genuine, awesome person who supports this town of Key West. And I've kind of bumped into him over the years. He's always wearing the Key West hat. He's a Philly guy though, so he's got that Philly roots. He still says water.
Did I say it right correctly?
No,
Watt terror?
He still likes a good cheesesteak, super creative. Straight ahead, there's a beach, public beach. And Paul salt cures all his barrels, which is so cool. And he'll get into all that more, and that's how he makes the rum, and he works and makes like rum during hurricanes. So he's just got some great cool stuff. Let's head in and check him out, see where he's at here. Sitting on a rum barrel, First Legal Rum Distillery. Go into the name first. I think that's got some good story behind it, history behind it. Key West, the rum scene, the whole nine.
I mean, Key West First Legal Rum. I mean, like, I think we have the longest business name in all of Florida, but I mean, it states something. We had to call it out. There's never been a legal distillery anywhere, ever, down here, Monroe County, ever, before us.
Some people are conchs for, you know, forever, and they've been here forever. So it's a good mix of those people that were on vacation, that now live down here, that make this a home, that make this a community. So it makes like it's like, not the land of the misfit toys, but like they say, where the weird goes pro.
It is.
It's a bunch of really good people. How'd you find Key West?
It is, because I was that misfit toy. Yeah. In Philly, like, you know, I wasn't invited back to public school, we'll just say. And, you know, I'm living down in South Bow, whatever. And, you know, when it's not spring or summer and I'm down in the ocean or jumping and doing all this shit, get in trouble and I'm fighting.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, young kids, stupid, hot head and everything. So back then they're like, well, you could just quit school. But I was too young. So they sent me to a Quaker school. So I'm like, wait, you're sending me to a non-violent school. Like, I fight people. I work my dad's gas station, man, the overnight shift. Like, I mean, I'm a young kid having to get into fights because people are trying to rob me. I'm like, really? Those people changed my life. And the one way they changed my life was they told me, you love what I'm going to show you what you love to do. They brought me to Key West. So I go into Green Parrot, they're doing their thing. I go, what do you want, kid? Can I have a beer? How old are you? Shit, I'm 17. You get one for not being a liar, right? I mean, that's how Key West was here in the 80s and stuff like that. So, I mean, granted, you do that. I don't condone that. You know, I don't want anybody.
We don't allow it here at Key West First.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I condone in this. I have a distillery and I condone moderation.
Yeah.
You know, this can be a really wonderful thing to celebrate with, and you can get in a lot of trouble with this shit. So, you know, they taught me to hold my breath and free. I went to go free dive the first time. My head almost exploded at like 5 feet, like, ah, my ears.
Clear your nose.
You know, and everything. Because from surfing, you just go down and garble up some water and it would come out. And when I learned how to do that and I saw what this is all about, dude, it was like graduation, I'm here. And you get here around all these misfit toys, we'll call them. I'll call them weirdos, because in Philly, I was weird. But when you get about a bunch of weirdos, they encourage your creativity. They don't see it as weird, so you become more creative. So this island, my teachers, and then this island have molded me into the person that I am today here in Key West. I owe it all to my teachers and to this island for what it's done for me. So how could I not constantly want to give back?
Ah, look what I got. A package, USPS, right from the original Fudge Kitchen. They ship fudge and they ship sweet treats across the country, right here from the Jersey Shore. FudgeKitchens.com. I hope you're enjoying the episode with our boy Paul at First Legal Rum Distillery. He's a Philly guy, he's a Jersey Shore guy. Grew up surfing right here at the Jersey Shore and eating that delicious original Fudge Kitchen. They ship the fudge, they ship the salt, water, taffy, the handcrafted, delicious chocolate-covered pretzels and strawberries across the country, right out of the back door. Now back to Key West.
We're rum runners. Like, I love saying that I'm a rum runner. And I can say it because I sailed over in, was it 2016 when we were allowed to go over, and I took 25 cases of rum to Cuba, pulled in, we sailed into port. I want to declare this. The guy's like, what are you bringing rum to Cuba for? We make the best rum in the world. I'm like, I know. This is for me. You inspired me. I want to say thank you. He's like, well, how are you going to say thank you? I said, I want to buy everybody on the island a drink. He said, you really want to import this? I said, yeah, I want you to stamp my passport, entering by sailboat, because they're allowed to actually stamp your passport, and I want a declaration. I said, how long have you been here? He said, 38 years. You ever seen anybody bring rum into Cuba? He said, you're the first one ever.
You're the
and
craziest.
I was like, rum runner. I was like, I'm a rum runner. And actually, he said, your name's Paul Menta? Menta. And we're talking in Spanish. Menta, mint. Your mojito must be incredible. And I swear to you, I turned to my wife and I was like, shit. He went, what? I said, gotta be honest, man, I never thought about that. And my mojito sucks, even with my rum. And he's like, we're gonna teach you. I'm gonna send you around. I'm like, yeah, okay, right. This guy had juice, man. He got me into La Bogadita del Medio, which is where Hemingway's recipe, that's who made his, mojito, which was, dude, old school dive bar, but they're making 40 at a time. Nobody's allowed behind the bar, ever. This guy said, I want him behind the bar, and you show him. They took my rum, which is like, you're stepping on some major territory there, and taught me how to make it. But that's how things work, man. I mean, it's just cool. Like, this is the journey of doing this, taking the biggest risk in my life.
My name is Paul Menta. We're here at the Key West First Legal Rum Distillery, and we're gonna make a mojito today. We're known for our Cuban-style mojitos. We went all the way to Havana in 2017 to get the original recipe, and that's what we teach here.
Let's do the mojito. I can't wait to try it.
Welcome. So first thing, we are going to pull out our tools. You have a bar spoon and a wooden muddler.
Okay.
You can put on your mojito beads if you like to.
Thank you.
It's not
thank
a party
you.
in Key West till you got beads on.
There you go.
So
Exactly. I love
it's
it.
official. Now, first ingredient is going to be sugar.
Okay.
Now, here in the States, we actually use simple syrup, which is half white sugar and half water.
Okay.
And that's going to be more traditional for the United States. But when we went to Cuba, they taught us that you actually want to use the crystals from the cane. This is our Demerara sugar. We use this to make all of our rum here in our distillery. It's Florida grown. This is first pressed from the juice of the sugar cane, has that beautiful honey color. It's gonna give our mojito a lot of complexity. So we're gonna take our metal bar spoon,
Okay.
and we wanna put 2 rounded spoons right into the glass. So kind of like this, kind of rounded heaping spoons, 1 and 2.
This is kind of like the peanut butter scoop I take Like it's never just a
Exactly,
tablespoon,
yes.
it's like 4 tablespoons on the peanut butter? Okay.
You want it to be a big one.
Okay.
Now this sugar has less sucrose than a white refined sugar, so it won't make your cocktail too sweet. It's just going to balance the mint and the lime. And next, it's lime time.
Okay.
Now here in the States, we take a whole lime and we cut slices of it. We put those slices in the glass to muddle.
Yep.
The Cubans taught us we actually want to use the juice of the lime because the skin, when you muddle it, can put some bitterness into your cocktail. So American mojitos tend to be a little bitter on the finish. Cuban mojito, you'll never have that bitterness. We're gonna take our smaller measuring jigger here. You got one there. Now the top part is 1/2 ounce. We don't need much of this lime. This is a special lime. We're in the Keys, so we're gonna use key lime juice, of course.
Of course.
It's a little more tart. We don't need much, but we are gonna give it a little shake, shake, shake. You can give it a little swirl if you want to as well. It has a lot of pulp, so we wanna get it mixed in there.
Okay.
And then we'll take that 1/2 ounce measuring jigger and we're just gonna measure a 1/2 ounce of key lime juice right into the glass. Pour it right over those crystals there. And at this point, I do just want you to swirl your glass a couple times, but more just smell it right now. It already smells like a sugary key lime pie, right?
Yeah, nice.
Speaking of aromatherapy, our next ingredient is our beautiful mint. And even the mint, we have a special way that the Cubans taught us to use it. Now, next time you have a mojito here in the States, I want you to watch your bartender behind the bar. They'll be picking up their leaves one at a time, right? Like, he loves me not. They taught us we're throwing away the best part of the plant when we do that. The Americans just put the leaves in. The Cubans use the whole stem. The stem actually has a lot more flavor and oils to it, so you'll never get that bright minty flavor with just the leaves in there. You can use your tongs or your fingers and choose your mint stem. There you go.
No tongs for me.
We have some beautiful stems today. Just push it down in the bottom of the glass there.
Okay.
Now we're ready for the workout portion
I was gonna say, are
of
we ready
the
for the rum
class.
yet? I'm ready for the rum.
We're almost there. That's my favorite part.
Absolutely.
Now it's sort of so specific, the muddling, so
Okay.
20 is the perfect number. We'll get all the flavor without any bitterness.
Any technique to this I should know? Just a little.
You want to push and twist, not too hard, but you want to hear the crystals crunching, which is perfect. They're releasing all the oils. And you want to get your stem all the way top to bottom if you can. That's where all those beautiful oils are. So muddle, muddle, muddle. This is the whole flavor base for our cocktail. Now I'm going to fill our glass with ice, nice small ice cubes. Now it's time for your favorite ingredient.
The rum.
We're ready for the rum.
What do we use it? Because you guys have so many different kinds of rum.
For the base for the mojito, we have 2. The first is our legal rum. Now this is right from the still. There's nothing added back into it, so it's crisp and light. If you use this in your mojito, you'll get the true flavor of mint, lime, sugar, rum very clearly in your cocktail. That'll be the most traditional. We also have our green coconut, which is an international award winner. 0 sugar in that rum, so it's very delicate on the finish. Tastes just like the coconut from the tree. My personal favorite is that green coconut. It has that light coconut finish. We'll do one of each, so we can try them both.
Perfect.
Now here, you're just gonna fill the 2-ounce jigger all the way to the top. That's a lot of rum. We can pour it right over those ice cubes now.
Great.
We put all these nice natural flavors. We just want to put some club soda or sparkling water. We really like Sipho. They're a Florida brand. For the club soda, we don't want to dilute the cocktail, so we don't want to put too much. We're going to put 4 ounces. I'm actually going to top it for you. Little party trick to that faint line at the top is going to be 4 ounces. Perfect. And those bubbles are just going to open up the flavors, bring it all to life. At this point, the Americans put everything into a shaker, and we just shake the heck out of it. But the Cubans taught us if we do that, we're going to dilute it a little bit by breaking down the ice. So they pull out that old-fashioned bar spoon again. They have kind of a specific way that they do the stirring. You want to kind of hold it from that little stopper there. And you can kind of get it down to the bottom and pull the flavors up towards the top. You can spin it a little bit if you want to, up and down, to really get the crystals off the bottom. But the most important part they taught us about using the spoon is you never want to shake your mojito, but while you stir, you do have to shake your body a little bit. You got to put a little Cuban love in there.
I'm not
Oh
a
yeah,
good dancer,
you
but
got
I'll give it a
it.
try. A couple of these, I'll be really dancing.
Oh yeah. That does put extra flavor in there, I promise.
Okay.
Now the Cuban mojito actually has 3 layers of flavor. The bottom layer, if you put the straw all the way to the bottom, will be the sweetest part of your mojito. You might get a little crunch and texture from the crystals from that level. The middle is going to be less sweet, a little more balanced. If you like it more tart, sip it from the top down.
Awesome.
3 distinct layers.
Look at that.
Now you are ready. We can place our straws and ready for that moment of truth, right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is awesome. Thanks for having us. The tour guides are incredible. It is an intimate atmosphere where you're in there with a handful of people and they're taking you through. You're putting the rum on your hand, you're smelling it, you're smelling the barrels, you're smelling the kind of
Wonderful alcohol within the tanks.
earthy, musty, humid Key West rum, sugar,
That is now rum.
all the natural local ingredients. You could just feel it, taste it when you walk in there. Like they're making rum while you're just hanging out getting the tour.
No, the experience was amazing. He knew us, the tour guide knew his stuff. He was very entertaining, kept us involved.
Very good experience.
Very good experience, definitely.
And that's what's so cool about just not only First Legal rum that's authentic, but it's Key West. Yes, there's some kind of quote unquote authentic experiences in Key West up and down the Ball Street. But the places we hit here on Food Drinks Football, primarily Key West First Legal rum, you could feel the heartbeat. And that's from Paul, his wife Crystal, and their staff that is first class.
I mean, dude, I cooked for 30 years, you know. I grew up in Philly as a mechanic, didn't like school, uncles, second uncles, you know, had a quarry. All hauling rock, would wake me up at like 4:30 in the morning to go haul rock. I decided school was probably a little more important because it sucked. And then, you know, worked as a mechanic, but you had to do it during the daytime, and that's what my dad did. And I learned to be a really good mechanic, but man, my dad got me water skiing at 5 years old. And I started going to Jersey, and you learn how to surf, and down in Maryland, we're like jumping ramps and doing crazy shit. And this was where I was destined to be.
Yeah.
You know,
this is a match year for you for sure.
And
I go around town and bring you up. It's like, oh, Paul's Key West. Your relationship with Jim Cantori during hurricanes making rum. I think that's a really cool story.
Jim's a good friend, and like, I mean, I'll call him up, and he's nuts, man. Like, he don't give a shit. He's, you know, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, Jim, is it time? He's like, relax. And then he's like, 2:45, go. Where's your pressure at? Now, it's coming over you. Like, go, and like is so into it.
Hurricane.
So like, yeah, everybody's boarding up and freaking out. You know, of course, you know, for me, that means the pressure is going to drop. So when the pressure drops like that, my copper stills think about them becoming super tight. So my vapor, which is, you know, you basically boil these washes that are around here, these fermentations we make that's bubbling around, we boil those until the alcohol boils at 174. And I wait for my vapor temperature to get to a certain point, call it the sweet spot. But when the hurricane hits and drops the pressure so low, I can get to that vapor spot quicker because I get more temperature because of this dropping of pressure. I'm at 0 sea level. So all of a sudden I get these flavors like pear. It's in my yeast strain. I get black truffle. I mean, it comes predominant. Like, I could spend 180 grand and make this a vacuum sealed room and then do it all the time. But like, I just don't happen to have that right now. So, and it just makes it fun, man, because I've had some real failures with it. When Jim first came here and we did a whole story on the Weather Channel, there wasn't another hurricane for 4 years. like we were waiting.
You're banking on a hurricane.
Because Jim shows up, right?
You're the only person banking on a hurricane. And when Jim
shows up,
it's bad.
Yeah, everybody's like, it's funny. He comes down here during the wintertime, and me and him will just go out to eat and everything. And they'll be like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, because when you see Jim, and they all think. But I think this year he's going to be a meteorologist for like 40 years. Like, passionate guy. Loves food, loves rum, loves all that kind of stuff. Tequila drinker.
Yeah.
I made some tequila. He's got and spends a lot of time and does a lot of good stuff, man. So people, it's funny, you see on TV, and of course they stick him out in the worst condition possible. But I mean, he's a pretty mellow guy, man.
All right, so salt cured barrels. Talk about that too. Really cool stuff. All on Paul's social media. Paul's out there dipping barrels right here at the end of the street. I mean, you're not going that far, but how'd that idea come up, and then what's that produced?
Well, most people don't have an ocean, so I wanted to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, they fill the barrels with salt or fresh water. Okay, remember, my company's called Chef Distilled. So I'm always looking at it as a mind through a cook. And I'm like, wait a minute, if I took a steak and put it in a pot of water and put it in the refrigerator overnight, and the next day took it out, drained the water out, put it on the grill, the water enzymes are going to eat all the flavor. Maybe the center would be good. I'm like, so why are they putting water? Did I say it right correctly? Water? Yeah, but I'm going to say water, dude. And they put it in there, and the wood absorbs all that fresh water in it. So I'm like, man, this is going to take like 8 months for it even to penetrate the flavors in the wood, the vanillas, the figs, all these type of stuff. So I'm like, why wouldn't we just dry them out? So I took them down to the ocean. 10 years later, we got copyright on this. We've won gold, double gold awards before it. We're using organic chemistry. So the ocean, when it puts that salt in there and it sucks it in, swells up the barrel, when we empty the salt water out, now all that salt dries on there. So think of if you've ever had a piece of beef jerky or cured salmon. How strong is the flavor compared to regular beef? Well, it's super strong because all the fresh water is absent. So I'm doing the same thing inside the barrels. Then I put a really clean high proof in there. And now it's sucking all that up, in 2 years. We got a gold in the one thing, and it was I think a 5 or 7 year category. It was 2 years old.
Wow.
I don't tell them that. I don't put ages on mine. When it's ready, it's ready. But the thing is, if I told people 100 years ago, hey, add salt to these barrels, bring it out. When you're done, the barrel's gonna make the rum super acidic. It's gonna seem like it burns. Use some carbonated salts and adjust the pH level. But people don't think like that because I'm thinking from the mind of a cook. Distilling is very matter of fact. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just,
I like baking.
The baking's a bitch, man. If you're a chef and you can bake as well, you're on it, man. This is where everything starts. See all the bubbling going on here? So that bubbling means there's yeast in here eating the sugar, turning into alcohol means it's alive.
Okay.
It's a living and growing organism in there. So we'll be doing all these fermentations later on today. I'm going to run it through the still, take the vapor out of it, strip it out. It's going to be all oily. That's your hangover. When I'm done with that, it goes into the spirit still, and I clean up all that alcohol. It takes me 6 days to make 60 gallons of clear rum. But I will tell you that everybody's giving me crap that it takes me so long to make it. I talk about this hangover-free stuff. In Las Vegas, they just did a blind tasting, and we got a double gold for our clear rum. You do not get for clear rums double gold.
Wow.
So that was super impressive because that makes everything in the distillery. All these barrels and stuff like that and everything, they all have the base rum in it. So if your base isn't any good, so I'm really proud of our clear rum because I use it to make everything here. And you can see, man, I got different barrels. You got these going on over here. These are, it looks like there's sugar coming out of this. Watch that. These are maple syrup barrels. My buddy had maple syrup in for 1.5 years. So it's to be wet. And the rum has been in here 2 years, and it's squeezing out all the look at all the sugar coming out. It's pushing the sugar out. It's got a wild flavor already. We're always experimenting.
Chef's Distilled, though.
Yeah, but you got to do it. Most people have probably never seen the inside of a barrel. Okay, so that's a white light behind that barrel and everything. This rum has been in here for 3 months. That's it. Like, rum can get dark on its own very quick, or you can add things to it. So people see something dark and figure, oh, it's been a long time, you know, and everything, and there's a stigma about it. This wood that's in here is from Brazil. They wanted me to try it out. I want to see what the flavor profile is. It's this really special wood, so I threw some in. I'm just going to see what it tastes like, and this is for, you know, we like to take away the mystery. We tell everybody all the secrets in the tours. We like people to see inside of there and see that there's, you know, these honeycombs and cross staves that every day the pressure drops and squeeze the barrel, and then the pressure releases, sucks in, sucking in, out. So that's how we're getting all of our flavors. There's a barrel here. I don't know how good this one's going to be. This guy Colin something, you know,
Bad
whatever.
football player, great rum.
Yeah, keep pounding, you know. So that's been in there. What now? That's been in there probably 3 years. So that's getting good, man. That's like, it's getting ready, man.
And what's
so
the process? When do you pull that?
When I say I want to pull it.
Really?
Me and you talk and something good's going on, you want to pull some barrels out and do something for charity, it's on. I mean,
cool.
so that's how it works. Like, you know, these barrels, they're brand new American oak. They're probably, everybody thinks about, oh, how old your rum? You should be concerned about how old the wood is. Like, these are like 70 years old. If you look up there, those barrels say 180. I made those in France with the guy who makes all the champagne barrels for all the biggies in France. Okay?
Okay.
That wood, he knew where those trees fell at. He's like, I'm going to give this wood another life. I'm going to make barrels. That wood's 180 years old. He's like, you can get flavors out of these older woods. So he didn't char it real heavy, he toasted it. And I've been doing finishing in there and stuff like that. I did our 10-year Solaric for our 10th anniversary and finished it in there. It was like marshmallows. Cooking's chemistry, this is chemistry. So all I'm doing is using natural things. Like, I'm not putting things in there because, you know, I've never understood this concept. Like, you're gonna put like all these preservatives and all these ingredients. You're not gonna take out these oils that are created naturally and buy the still that are gonna give you a hangover. Like, and you're gonna put all this stuff in there and people are gonna maybe have a big night. And like, but they're not gonna say your name the next day and they're never gonna hear Key West Legal Rum again. Like, the idea is I want you to buy something, enjoy it, and then tell your friends about it. And like marketing 101, like keep your brand popular, not like, oh my God, rum, Key West, oh, don't say Key West Legal Rum, you know?
Yeah.
So
you're
it's
hangover proof.
Yeah. So I tell people, hey, you buy a bottle, you drink, you get a hangover from our stuff and everything. Then bring the bottle back, I'll give you your money back. You know, so it's a good thing, man. It's just, you know, in this island, to make something unique on this island, that's what makes it special. What's the best rum in the world? I don't ever believe there is one. You go somewhere, I use local cane sugar from Florida, my ocean, you know, everything done here, so I can only make it here. Yep. So you're getting something individualized. Forget about best, man. I mean, everybody's always wanting to only be the best. How about just being really good quality, give somebody something that represents your place in your island that you're proud to kind of put out there. You got bottles here like this. You can see on here, if you want to take a look at that, it says Key West FLA on it, man. This is the old Coca-Cola factory. When I dug this place up and did the laterals, I found bottles like, you want it wild? This bottle, Vin Mariani, had lead on the top. That's what they would seal it with. Pemberton, who made Coca-Cola, his partner was Mariani out of France. So they were taking white wine and mixing it with coca leaf and making this alkaline, and everybody's drinking this stuff and like, woo, like, I mean, like high, right? The Pope was doing ads for it. I mean, like everybody was. And then Prohibition hits. And this big idea they had to bring over and do falls apart because now Prohibition, you can't use alcohol. So Pemberton decides, well, let me just take the Coca-Cola, let's add more. We got cola nuts in there. Let's add more of the coca leaves in there. Coke and a smile. Coke adds life, right? Everybody's drinking Coca-Cola. It's taking the edge off during Prohibition. You can have something to drink. He goes through the roof. And then our GIs go on the war, get a little Coca-Cola bottle as a ration. In with their rations as a treat. They're in Cuba and different things doing different, and they're pouring it rum that's harsh, and rum and coke, rum and coke comes alive.
Yeah.
So like this guy, you know, it's like anything, man. You step into the right thing at the right time, and it just happens. It's fun. You know, that counter over there with all that labels, we hand label everything. I'll get an idea, and I come up with some really far-fetched ones. And my partner's wife, Jill, will just sit there. Like, I'll draw it like either on an iPad thing, or I literally draw in pencil the worst stick figure shit you'll ever see in your life, and she turns it into, because I want a story behind every one of our rums.
What's the story behind Bad Bitch Rum?
Bad Bitch? I'll tell you what, like, it's funny you should ask. I just so happen to have just wrote a book about it. Oh. Dude, I just released this like last week, because we want to get Bad Bitch out there nationally, but all the big boy stores and everything, you can't say bitch. And Spanish Maria is like, she is my rum superhero.
Okay.
So there's all this stuff on PBS and all this stuff written about her. It's all bullshit.
Okay.
I debunked it all because I traced through the lineage for 3 years, found her granddaughter, and then her great-granddaughter came. I got her birth certificate, death certificate. There was never photos of her. I found out other names, searched and found all the things. I put it all in a book. And to be honest, we did it because most people are buying Bad Bitch out there, and we're like, here's a book. Read about her. She is a rock star.
It's my favorite one of your rums.
And we want to make her famous so that we can put her out there nationally. And she should get the credit for it. But it's a badge of honor. You know, a woman in the 20s, that was a really aggressive man's world. She was only like 5 foot tall. So to be able to like bring the rum over, have a transmission station in Key West and do all this stuff, man, you were something special.
What's your favorite rum out of all of them to drink, to sip on?
I'm partial to the raw and unfiltered that we make, because that's in the brand new American oak barrels. Because it's brand new American oak, I get more of that magnesium and that salt. I taste a little bit from the salt curing. I can pick up different flavors that it pulls out, because the Bad Bitch is made in 8-year-old French like Pinot Noir barrels. So you don't get the wood flavors like you would in a bourbon or a whiskey. You get more tannins and caramels and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's become our best seller.
You have tours in here, and there's like 5-gallon buckets. Like, this is active.
Yeah, you're not going to come in here and find like the stills are really super shiny or everything's looking perfect. There's going to be water and shit and hose and breaking everything, because we're working, man.
And that's Key West, though.
Yeah.
I think like when you go to these bars and restaurants and you get in this community down here, right? Like, it has that edge to it, a welcoming edge, but it has that edge to it of like a local flair. And everybody, if you're like a true tourist, to me, which I've been coming here for 30 years. I just turned 30, but I've been literally coming here since I was a couple months old. My parents have been coming for 40 years down here since my uncle was stationed flying F-18s up at Boca Chica right as he got out of the Navy base. So like the old stories of like the oyster shells were the road between Fly Navy and the Half Shell Raw Bar. And like that's Key West though. Like, you could do tour stuff off a cruise ship, come in, come out. But the best part about this, I don't believe that people appreciate Key West till their 3rd or 4th trip down here. Nowhere to go. No, like truly be like,
it is hard.
I love this place, because you would know like, all right, I'm going to go to these 3 bars and restaurants. I'm going to come here for the tour. I'm going to get the pina colada to start my day. I'm going to go to, I like Pepe's for happy hour, right? You got to know how to navigate. I think my favorite part about First Legal Rum, I can't put a thumb on it, but there's so many different things. First off, the location, you can't beat it. It's a block from Duval Street and it's a block from the water. The location is tremendous. It fits Paul Menta. It fits Key West First Legal Rum Distillery. They wear the ocean there. They wear the salt air there. It is a salt-cured life for the folks at Key West Legal Rum Distillery. The one thing too that I think is really cool to touch on is your relationship kind of with the Jimmy Buffett situation that you put on September 1st. Obviously, you just recently passed away. And with your community leadership ability, driving what you did, just talk about kind of that day and the Jimmy Buffett effect on this island and what the future looks like.
I mean, look, the Jimmy thing, the Jimmy Buffett effect he didn't make the island famous. The island's always been like this for 200 years. Yep. He lived here and got to feel that and experience it and lived and really got into it and wrote about it. We call him, for the Conch Republic down here, we call him our native son of the Conch Republic, or favorite son of the Conch Republic. When he passed, You know, what he did for us as locals, what he did for this place as a town through his life, I'm like, we owe him something. Fuck it, let's just do a parade. We'll do a parade. I sent a text to the city manager at like 5 a.m. Hey, when you get this, you know, give me a, he like responds back to me. Hey, Paul, what's going on? What do you want to do? I want to do a parade. When? Tomorrow. What? He's like, you know what, Paul, I'm gonna let you do it. I want this to be clear. My rum distillery paid $0. This was all out of my pocket. This goes beyond rum, cooking, and everything else. This was me wanting to say, thank you, Jimmy Buffett. I said, I want to call it, it's 5 o'clock in Key West. Because it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Yep. But 5 o'clock and that whole thing started here in Key West. And I'm like, for once in our life, right now it's 5 o'clock in Key West. Right before we got ready to make a toast to him at 5 o'clock, I said, in Jimmy's honor, not to disrespect his name, do not throw any trash on the ground. As a matter of fact, if you see trash, pick it up. Let's be the cleanest parade in the entire world. This is a second line. We're not here to mourn. We're here to celebrate his life. Dude, people were picking up trash. There was nothing. I walked that parade route after I was done, and the guys come back with the drone footage. And they're like, hey, we put the drone in the AI. 8,326 people that we saw on the main part of the street. In Key West, every day is like a hurricane. We survive, man. And they don't get that our appreciation goes so far to the tourists, to the people that work here, to, you know, just all of it, man. And I think that's something that's misunderstood about Key West. We appreciate people, man. Like we know they're spending their money to come here on vacation. And that's a big deal, and that's an important job.
First time at the chart room. What an unbelievable place. What a great weekend it's been in Key West. I hope you guys enjoyed Paul Menta, his wife, and the amazing people at First Legal Rum. The rum's fantastic. It is locally sourced. It is made with heart and passion. You could see Paul with the Delco shirt in Philly, like awesome. But to close the weekend out here, at the chart room with great friends and family, a little place, Jimmy Buffett, tons of history. There's people buried under these floors. The Pier House, it's just tremendous. The popcorn, the dirty water dogs, the peanuts. It's nostalgic to say the least. The dollar bills on the wall, like it is dive bar, but in Key West, like the mecca of bars. So what a great weekend. Paul and his team at First Legal are the best. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed another awesome episode of Food Drinks Football.